Hello, my name's Tom Frana. I'm President and CEO of ViON Corporation. With me today is Hu Yoshida, Vice President and Chief Technology Officer for Hitachi Data Systems. Hu, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Tom.
The technology in the marketplace today changes almost daily, it seems. How do you keep up with it?
Hey, that's a challenge because there's so much new technology coming on. It's just talking to customers, talking to industry analysts, talking to partners like yourselves, because that's where everything happens, is in the field.
If you listen to the market today, and if you read the storage news and all the other press, flash seems to be a term that is used quite often. Can you help me and define what flash is and what's the benefit of it?
Yes, talking about flash memory, and that's technology that it's solid-state memory technology. So it's very useful in the storage industry because you eliminate the latencies, mechanical latencies of hard disks. And that has helped to increase the performance of storage systems tremendously.
So at Hitachi Data Systems, is this now embedded in your product set, or is it a sort of choose if you want to use it or not use it?
Well, we are creating our own what they call SSDs. Actually, that stands for solid state disk. What we are doing is building our own flash modules, because this type of technology is not durable. It needs to have a lot of software in the controller for that media to make it durable, to give it high performance, and make it really usable and get the full potential of flash. So we've built our own own media controller for that flash module. So it's not an SSD like the everybody else is using, but it's our own flash module. So it has 40% better performance, is more durable, and it has more cost effective because we can put more of those flash DIMMs on there.
How much of it is a software solution versus how much of it is hardware technology?
Technology is the same. When you talk about flash, they all come in what we call DIMMs, dual interface memory modules. It's the software that makes it more durable. For instance, every time you write to this, electrons leak out. Think of it like a battery or a print cartridge. It wears out. So you've got to do things to eliminate the wear, and most of that is about eliminating writes. And so what we do is we eliminate a lot of the writes. We know we're writing to storage. We format it with zeros. We don't have to write those zeros. Okay. We also know that signals degrade as those electrons are leaking. And so what you have to do to preserve that record is to create a longer ECC, error correction code. But that takes memory to process that ECC. So you need to have, like we use a quad-core processor in our flash module. So that allows us to have more durability in that system.
As you roll that solution out to the marketplace, do you find your customer base taking advantage of it?
Yes, we do, yes. I think the future of storage is going to be a multi-tier model. The hard disk as we know it, the technology for that is flattening out. So the cost of that hard disk is not going to be on this 30% erosion we've had for the last 50 years. Those days are over. So what we're going to have to do is put a high-speed flash module or non-volatile memory sitting in front of the hard disk. Let the hard disk do what they do best, capacity, and we'll use flash to do the performance. And the combination of that will meet future requirements for storage.
Is Hitachi the leading edge of this in the marketplace, or are other vendors competing with you?
Well, we believe we're the leading edge because we've built our own flash module. It all starts with a module. No matter what you do on the controller above it or the interfaces above it, you've got to first of all build that performance into that module. And it's a quad-core processor, multi-pathing, and then of course when you do that, then of course it pushes the bottleneck up in the control unit. So in our control units, we optimize the code for that, optimize the way we do the cache allocation, and this way we can transfer that performance of flash into what the customers can use, 40–50% more than what other controllers can do. Okay? So it's not just about, you have to do both. It has to be the media with special control software in there, and then it also has to be the controller on top of that.
If you are a storage administrator and you're trying to figure out what heads in one tier and what goes under flash, what is the criteria that an end user uses for selecting where the data goes?
Okay, it would be performance as to where that data goes. But I think in the future everybody will need this performance because, as I said before, the disks are getting slower. So with a tiered environment where you have flash sitting on front, or I say non-volatile memory sitting in front of hard disks, everything comes through that to flash, gets flash performance, and you know everything ages. We're aging, right? And we get slower.
Please don't remind me.
So as it gets slower, it moves down to the hard disk on cheaper storage. Okay, so I think that'll be the model for future storage. A tiered environment where pages that are active first, they'll get that, and then it moves down. And you won't have to think about it. Okay. Now, there's other reasons for tiering. Tiering for security, maybe for availability, but let the system manage that tiering for performance.
So not only has Hitachi Data Systems developed their own module, but you've also developed then the software construct to allow the tiering to occur automatically?
Yes, yes. Now, another thing about this automatic tiering is that it takes a lot of processing power, right? Because you're moving pages up and down. There's a lot of metadata that you have to keep track of. When you do this, in most systems, it impacts the I/O performance, okay? So to avoid that, we built a different type of controller. Okay, it's a hybrid controller in that we use ASICs to do the data movement, while we have a quad-core and 8-core Intel processors that do the data management. So you separate the movement from the data management. This allows us to be able to do this tiering without impacting the I/O performance.
If flash is the hot topic today, a year, 18 months, 2 years from now, what do you think the hot topic's going to be?
I think it's going to be more about, well, you're starting to see that now. I mean, it's not just about storage, it's about getting information from that. Okay, and so people are talking about big data. Now, the thing about big data is really about getting value from that data. It's doing analysis. It's key value storage. It's complex event processing. So we're going to start having to be a lot smarter to be able to get different varieties of data, seeing the intersections of the data, and seeing the value that comes from that.
Is Hitachi Data Systems not only working on the technology, but is it also working on the analytics to reap the reward of big data?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, today, the analytics, you hear of Hadoop, you hear of SAP HANA in-memory databases and things like that. So those are some of the basic tools, but we're going to have to build even more tools because the big data of tomorrow is going to be tied into, you've heard of the industrial internet, or Cisco's talking about the internet of everything, where machines are talking to machines now. And when that happens, you're going to have deep expertise into the different verticals, transportation, health, government, and you have to work with people who have that deep expertise. And fortunately for us, we belong to Hitachi Limited, and Hitachi works in all those different areas. They build, nuclear energy plants. They build cars. Plants for energy plants for cars. So MRIs. So those are the types of things we need to have to really get into the big data of tomorrow.
From a standpoint of looking ahead at what's necessary for tomorrow versus the fact that you are bringing stuff to the market today, is there a natural progression? Is it like every 18 months that technology is changing? Or is it a confluence of expertise brings something to market quicker than that, or it takes longer to discover the next thing?
There's so much information out there now, and I think you're going to see. You said a confluence, and I think that's what's happening. Confluence of different things, and different vendors will be in this big data or this internet of everything. You think of companies that have the breadth, like GE and like Hitachi and maybe a Siemens, But think of also Google, a company like that, that also has a smart driverless automobile, has a gigabit a network, a Google network, has glasses that now do information. So new companies will be coming into this and become leaders in this area. And some of the old ones who have the breadth will also be there.
In that sense, is Hitachi, both Limited and Hitachi Data Systems, continually looking for additional partners to include in the technology mix?
Yes, we are. I mean, Hitachi's approach has always been an open approach, okay? We don't lock things in with APIs, proprietary APIs. We know that we have to be able to work with others and be able to leverage their expertise along with our expertise, and that's how we all gain.